All right, what's going on, everybody? Back with another No Frame Left Behind podcast. Today we got a host you guys seen in the past, or a guest, I should say, and it's Rick Productions. Oh, you don't want to say nothing?
What's that?
He's like, what's up? That's my guy, Rick.
What's up, guys? It's Rick Productions.
There you go, bro. So, you know, we were talking last time how he came into the podcast, and somehow we did two. We didn't even know that, and I wanted to bring him back in because there's certain topics. We're going to do two videos today. One of the topics was something that I feel like you'll be really good to have on. And that's a creative drought, being on a slump. Like how, like I know a lot of creators, you know, a lot of us, we tend to have our good moments where we're super creative. And then there's those days where our creativity is out the water. So like, what do you do in the moments where you feel like you have first of all, have you gone through that?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think a creative drought, that's something that's normal. And it's something that you have to understand that it's normal so you could overcome it. Because a lot of dudes, like, they get, like, creative drought. They can't write no more. They can't edit no more. They like, dude, I'm going through it. I don't think this is for me anymore. And it's just like, whoa, like, dude, it happens to everyone. So, yeah, definitely.
What do you do in that situation where, like let's say editing, you're having that drought? What steps do you do to kind of, like, try to help yourself finish it? Because I know to me, that's one of the hardest things to do.
Well, man, I think the last time I had a creative drought, it was like 4 months. It would have probably been like a year. Because I think a lot of people, what they don't understand about our job is that they hire us to film, to edit, and to basically get a product of a project, right? Corporate videos, wedding videos, music videos. But what a lot of people don't take into account is that when we're editing these videos, we're using a lot of our brain power, and it gets like really tiring on us. Me specifically, personally, I cannot edit unless like I'm in like my headspace is clear. I have to have a good headspace in order for me to edit. I could only edit for like about 2 hours at a time. I don't know if it's the same with you.
I gave up. I gave up editing, honestly. I think it got to the point, like you said, we used too much of our energy leading up to the shoot. You know, making sure all the gear's there, making sure what's the shots or locations, what are we working with. There's so much things that go into leading up to the shoot, and then you still got to execute the day of the shoot. So then editing portion of it, I realized that I was spending like, if you're considering if I sit down in a desk for 8 hours, I'm probably gonna do maybe 30 minutes of editing. Like that's how bad I can't. I don't know. It's something I realized I don't like editing. Like it's annoying. It's very rare when I have that creative juice flowing where I'm like, hey, I like this is gonna be good, and I'm like feeling it. And I could say that's probably 1 in 6 months out of like all the videos I do in 6 months, where I was doing only one. I'll be like, I'll flow through it. The rest I can't do it. So for me, one of the creative droughts I learned to avoid that was hiring an editor. I think one of the things for me, I don't like I don't like too over effective like videos with a lot of effects. So, and I like cinematic, you know, but sometimes cinematic, it seems so boring at times. I don't know, maybe because you look at it so much as you're editing. So giving it to another editor and having them just give you the whole video laid out, it gives you a fresh pair. Like you're walking into it fresh, and you're able to dissect it right away, change the things you need to do, and they come in with different effects, different style that could be way better than yours. So that kind of helped me in the creative drought as far as the editing portion.
Yeah, definitely, man. I think cinematic footage, in order to make it interesting, it has to be shot with like perfection, you know? It has to be a story to it. Because how do you sugarcoat an ugly, like a nasty video that's like shitty with a bunch of effects, right?
Yeah.
Bunch of pop-ups, bunch of like lighting effects, bunch of
scoping,
zigzags, all that stuff like that, man. And I mean, not to like, that could be people's style too. So not to like, you know, shit on anyone's style out there, but like you do see those videos where it's just like nothing but just effects. It's like, bro, what the fuck is doing? Like, what's going on here? I think another way to solve like the whole creative drought thing is your creative space, like where you're at. I used to have my office at home, and I didn't like that because I had a lot of like, you know, I had a lot of people, a lot of distractions. I had my son at home, my partner at home. We had guests sometimes come over and just like, dude, what are you doing? Like, you're just on the computer all day. I'm like, what? This is work, you know? Like, oh, you're just on the computer all day. Like, people didn't really understand it. I'm like, you know, I'm making a living out of this. So after time, like after a certain amount of time, I think it could become like very overwhelming. So I think for sure, if you have the luxury or if you have the resources to get yourself a creative space, and if you don't have a creative space, and if you're really like in a rough drought, I rent a hotel room, dude. I'll go to a resort, take my laptop, go to a resort, make sure I have a nice view, balcony, and it's just so peaceful, man. Everything's clean, you know.
Damn, I didn't think about that. That's actually a really good. See, that's something good to know because for me, I mean, I have an office in my house, but I still think just because you're in your house, it's still like you got to get away from the house. You know, for me, like, where's your editing space? Is it in your house or where exactly?
Dude, my editing space, you're gonna laugh, but my editing space is in a barn. I have a tiny barn that I built up myself. I don't want to disclose the location, but I edit from a tiny barn, and I kind of like that. I take a lot of pride in that because I feel like a lot of great CEOs, you know what they say, right? They come like out of garages and stuff like that. So I don't mind it. My creative space is in a fucking tiny studio, and I think I make it work so well that it's not even noticeable.
Is it in your like place where you live or is somewhere completely?
No, it's somewhere completely separate. For the same reason that like if you edit, like if you have like a back guest house and you edit back there, you're still technically home.
Yeah.
You know, your your son's still gonna want to bug you, play video games with you, you know, or like you're just gonna have people to bug you, you know. So you definitely have to like remove yourself, go to a whole different location, different mindset, and reset. But that's definitely one way that I got out of my creative drought. Yeah, you have to have a safe space.
No, that's good that you point that. So all creators out there, that and it's true. Like being in your own house, your own area, it's still, you know, I feel like people will never understand. They think because you're home, you're like, oh, you know, like for example, I had John just tell me recently, like his girl doesn't understand. The funny thing is I had Seals Photography 2 days ago, same thing. His girl doesn't understand. He's like, I'm in my office, but she still comes in. But it's like, hey, I'm at work. Like it's those little things where it kind of distracts you, or you're in a zone and then girl got mad maybe. So now you're just like, fuck, like now that's not letting you function. Like and then I also think like if you're gonna waste your time to go somewhere to edit, that's gonna make you edit because you have to drive there just to get there.
Yeah,
so
man.
It's not like you're in the comfort of your home where, hey, let me go play with my dogs real quick, which that happens to me a lot, or let me go do this, and you start getting distracted. Food, that's how I gained weight. Every 10 minutes that I was freaking like not editing,
being at home,
I'll go downstairs and I'll be like, what's there to eat? I'm eating out of boredom. It's not even like because I'm hungry, bro.
Just because you want to munch on something.
That's it.
You know what?
Find ways.
It's funny that you say that because my studio is located maybe like about 10 minutes away from my house, not that far. And I have access to like a larger space where I can have set up, but I just don't feel comfortable driving like 30 minutes to get there because it's just not convenient. And when it's not convenient, you know, we get lazy. We got to be pushing ourselves to do this. That's another thing. We get into creative droughts because plain and simply like being lazy, you know. There's motivational videos on Instagram all over the place for a reason because everyone needs motivation. And I think it's like people like you and I that are here because we have discipline. So that's another thing. For those creators who are in creative droughts, sometimes you just got to just do it, right? Just got to get there, just start piecing stuff together. And you have to remember that a lot of creators didn't get where they got to just by like sitting down and being in this creative drought. You have to push yourself. You have to be your own boss. So I think that's another aspect of it.
So the next thing, as far as in the creative drought, so have you ever been like let's say shooting, like you just have no creativity, you're trying to come up with an idea, you just don't have it, or you just, you know, like because for me, I'll give you an example. For me, I'll be booked up too much, where the point you're just so stressed, you got all these jobs, all these things you got to take care of, and then eventually because you're getting overworked, your mind just starts failing on you. You just don't want to take it. So at least how I handle that is I'll just tend to start saying no. Or if not, I would maybe try to shoot a fun video that can like just inspire me, bring the juice back flowing. Because too much, you know, when it feels like a job, you just start getting like, I don't know, your levels start going down as far as creativity.
You start to hate it. You start to get stressed. Like the other day, I gotta like, when you're working on one job, I don't know if you get this, but sometimes I post stuff that I'm working on a separate job, And then I have clients like, hey, where's my project at? And it's just like, dude, you're not the only project I'm working on right now, you know? And it's just like, it's a stressor. And I almost made fun of it. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to put together a video and I'm going to call it how to edit a wedding video in 5 minutes. Because, you know, we could simply throw these edits together because me and you are good at that. But I think what
I'm
makes
not.
us no,
I suck.
no, I mean, like me and you, like if they give us a timeline, I think we could throw something together, like
Oh,
for
yeah,
fun.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, for
but
sure.
like we're so perfectionist in our work. I'm pretty sure you are too. That like something that could be delivered very quick, you know, takes even longer because we're not satisfied with it. So we take a lot of pride in our work. But I think that's another reason for a creative drought, that just trying to be perfect all the time. We got to understand that like not every project's going to be perfect, you know, and you definitely learn from the projects that are not perfect, you know. That's another reason why people have creative droughts, because they write all their ideas down. I don't know if this happened to you. You got all these ideas, but you're like, wait a minute, I still need that extra light. I still need that extra camera, but I need these microphones to make it happen. And it's just like you just get stuck, bro. You're never gonna do anything if like you're just waiting on the perfect moment.
So I think the other thing that puts me in a creative drought is like I have so much ideas. Like I want to do podcasts, I want to do YouTube. I want to do all these passion videos, but I have like 6 videos to edit back here, and I know I have to get those done because they were paid, and there's a certain time limit. I have like a day that I have to deliver. So it eats me up that I can't do these passion videos. Like for example, today a podcast, I can do this every day because I love this. You know, like that's one reason why I got John to edit my videos, because it just takes me away from like, man, I could be doing this. This is like much more funny. It's like it's me. It's what I love to do. So I feel like to get out of a creative job sometimes is maybe doing what you love to do. Take a step out of like a job, and even if you don't get paid for a whole week or 2 weeks,
There you go.
I think that's fine. Like, and pick up your camera and whatever inspires you, maybe. Because the one thing that I haven't done, and remember when we started, we were doing this a long time ago. This is like 5 years ago, but we were filming for fun. Remember we went to like Venice Beach?
Dude, we'll
vlog?
just go out there and film for fun. But I'm pretty sure we were filming for fun because we had all the time in the world to film for fun. You know?
True.
Because if we were booked, we'd be like, nah, dude, I can't do it. Like, I got to take this job, you know? Like, but I think at the time, I don't know. I wasn't booked. I was just starting. So, yeah, let's go film for fun.
It was the same for me, but the one thing and this is the reason why I try so hard to do it myself, like to go out there and film for fun. I've noticed because my juice is flowing, I'm having fun. Even though it's a fun project or passion, whatever it is that I'm doing, that tends to give me more jobs because my I don't know, I just have like a certain, like my juice starts flowing. And because it's not paid, there's no stress behind it. It's just free flow. I feel like those are the videos that I end up marketing and pushing out because that's me. That's me at my best.
So definitely, like the way we went about that, another tip for creators to get out of a creative drought is to collaborate with others.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're at a standpoint where you can't think for yourself anymore, and when you collaborate with a fresh mind, it's like your ideas start flowing again. Like, oh, that's actually pretty cool what he did there. I could make this my own way now. Like, so collaborations definitely help get people out of creative droughts for sure.
That's what I did actually on a recent video. I hired one of my homies as an assistant director, all for the fact that, again, like I'm like, dude, this video's coming up. I have other videos to do before that. Everything's getting like combined into like 3 days. I'm like, fuck, how am I gonna do this big project while I start to do these other videos? So I brought him in as a second eye. It's like, hey man, if you see anything, just let me know. Cause sometimes, we don't have everything, or we might be stressed out, so we'll miss things.
You know what, man? That actually just recently happened to me. We were filming a music video, and I hired somebody to do behind the scenes.
Was that Ambitions Films?
Yeah, Ambition Films.
Okay.
Man, this dude, I love this guy. He's such a hands-on dude. I'm like, dude, I gotta bring this guy more around. I hired this dude for behind the scenes, and it's like, because they're so fresh-minded and they're so eager to get into the creative space, that when they get the opportunity, they remind us of us when we started. This dude was just like, yo, how can we make this scene better? Yo, like, grab a bucket of water and throw it into the floor so we can get the light reflection. It's gonna make the scene a lot better. And I look at him like, bro, like what? Like, I knew this. Like, this is like simple stuff, but that I didn't catch because I was already like thinking about the shots. I was thinking about the script. I was thinking about everything else, that I forgot about the details. So the fact that he was just hands on is like, dude, he went to go grab a bucket of water. He splashed water everywhere. And it's just like, bro, like I paid you to do behind the scenes, but you're doing hands on my production set. Like that's dope, man. So we definitely got to have like extra, like those extra people, man. Yeah.
Because they help. Like, there's a lot of times we don't have it. No matter how talented you are as a creative, if you haven't gone through that, I'm going to tell you, all you guys right now that you guys are hearing, watching this, you're going to go through it. And there's going to be ways you're going to have to figure out. Maybe it's taking time off. For me, sometimes it works when I go to the gym and get away. Or, for example, just recently, I've been playing basketball because I just haven't been there mentally. Like, I just don't know, like, besides being in a creative drought, is like, what other kind of business I want to get into? You know, it's like one thing is filmmaking, but I always like saying have your options, have multiple streams of income. You can't just be in one area. So that eats me up as well. How do I get away so I can like kind of refresh my mind and get away from the stress? And that's like, hey, maybe let me go play some basketball. Even though I know there's nothing behind it, but I mean, I'm getting health out of that, like cardio, right? But I'm also getting like stress free. I'm able to like relax the mind. I don't think about anything but beating Edwin one-on-one on basketball. It was just my boy back there because I be smacking him. But that's really like the fun part of it, you know? Like it takes me away from from anything that's going on. And then when I come back into like, if I get a job, because I took time off mentally, it allowed me to be fresh.
Yeah, definitely. Like, you know what? I never liked running. And when I would run, I'm like, dude, I need a treadmill. I want to run on a treadmill. I don't want to be out there running around. But it came to a time, man, it came to a time where I just wanted to skate, bro. Like,
Wait, you used to skate?
No, I wanted to escape.
Oh, I was like, you used to skate?
Skate? Okay. I used to skate, yeah.
Okay,
I mean, I wasn't a pro, but I'll definitely skate blocks to go fucking see my girlfriend back in middle school.
That's the only time you skate.
That's the only form of transportation, bro. Just like, let's skate there, bro. Like,
I respect, because that's what I did back then.
Yeah, skate and shit. But going back to like, dude, I would want to like get away so bad that I found myself running at track. And it was cool because it was like fresh air, you're running, and then you see the trees blowing, you see the golden hour come in, your mind starts like working, you're listening to music, and it's just like, now you want to run back to your editing space to create some more, you know? But yeah, that's definitely another way you could get out of a credit drought, is working out. Scientifics, right? Let's
just anything.
It's really science, bro. Like, get out of there, you know, get out of your rut, like go and exercise your brain, like physically.
Anything like get away. Honestly, that's one reason why sometimes I'll go to the casino at night. It's not that I want to go there, because you're gonna lose regardless majority of the time. But it's like, it's when you're there, it's just you against the dealer or something like that. So my mind is away from filmmaking. I'm not thinking about filmmaking. So when I come home mad because I lost or whatever, but I'm mad at that. You know, I'm not thinking about filmmaking. So the next day I wake up and I'm like, all right, you know, it's like, let's get back into it. But it's like, I just took like a few good 4 hours out of like the creative thing. So that kind of helps me too. But it's not the smartest. I'm not telling everybody to go to the casino and spend your money. Dude. But it's just, what I'm saying is, it's find things that get you completely away from just thinking too much creativity. Because my biggest issue, and I don't know if you have this, I feel like this happens with all directors. You're somewhere with your girl, you're somewhere with your family, you're anywhere in life, bro. Your mind is still working nonstop. Like, you're thinking, man, I got this edit to do, or fuck, if I have my camera, I could be doing this. You never rest. You're never there in the presence with everybody. I feel like you're always thinking of shit.
Man, personally, it's so weird, because even when, like, we're talking about take vacations so you can reset your mind, and it's so weird because when I would take vacations, I wanted to bring my GoPro. I wanted to bring my camera. I wanted to bring my microphones, you know, my portable microphones. I wanted to like record the vacation. And at the time, like, my girl was like, she was bothered by it. She would be like, put your camera down and enjoy the vacation. I'm like, this is my way of enjoying the vacation, you know? On top of that, it's like, I got short-term memory, bro. Like, I want to remember this vacation, you know? I want to, you know, like, what the hell? Like, everyone brings out their cell phones. I'm like, so if I just use my cell phone, you know, that's cool? Because you see everybody with their cell phones when they're on vacation. The only difference is I got my DSLR, you know, my camera. So, but yeah, it could be a bothersome too. We're always like in that creative headspace, always thinking. I don't know. Do you find it difficult to like focus, or are you the type of person that would like jump from topic to topic when you're like having conversations with people? Or
I'm all over the place.
You're all over the
that's
place.
That's probably because my mind just like running. Like, it's so used to it because, again, like I just think the biggest issue that can lead to creative drought is, and I'm seeing this out of a lot of creators out there, bro. They're doing everything themselves.
Oh, dude.
Like when you're grown, I get it. You're just coming up. You're not getting that type of budget. You don't have money to fund people and get people. I get that. But then there's also a time where you got to learn to connect and network with people and try to figure out maybe, you know what, I'm going to help you and you're going to help me. We're not going to pay each other. But we're going to build each other up so we can also like take away. Or you know what, maybe someone likes to edit. You know what, let me give homeboy the edit. Like it's okay to give your work to somebody else. Like, because if you do everything, it's going to eat you up. You're going to end up in a creative drought because you're just doing everything. Your mind's spinning. It's working overtime. So the best way is to give it to other people. If someone's a better editor, or even if they're not, like give them a chance. Eventually, just like we did, we were sorry at one point at editing. Man. So in order to get to that level, we had to do practice. So if you train somebody to eventually edit to your liking, they're gonna get there. It's just we just gotta be patient and understand like it's better for both of us.
It's like steps, right? Because first we become like the editors, we're at home editing, and then we become the directors, right? And then after the directors, we like as we're bringing people aboard, we start becoming the producers.
Yeah.
Like the other day, I was with a client, and then she was like, my boy was there filming for me. I paid him to film for me, so he was technically working under me. And the client was just like, oh, I need some videos done. So he kind of looked at me out of respect, like, you know, that's the boss man. So she comes up to me and she's like, oh, like, so he has the camera. So what do you do? I'm like, well, he's my editor, but he's shooting for me now. So I'm guessing he's the director. And I'm like, so I guess that makes me the producer. So yeah, get at me. We'll make a project happen, you know, and I'll put it together. That's what a producer does. So I think it's just like another thing that people need to understand when you're like going on the steps. It's steps to this, right? Like as long as you're bringing people on board, you're able to like kind of oversee the project. And then it's like steps. Everyone's growing with you. It's not just like, oh, you're going to be an editor and you're going to stay there. Like, no, everyone's growing with you. I know you used to tell me all the time, like, dude, you can't be doing all this shit on your own, bro. Like, you know? And the thing about like working hard to get to where you're at, working hard to get enough projects, that's a blessing in itself, because when you have enough projects, then you start to respect yourself and your time, you know? It's just like, hey, come shoot this, but the budget is this. Like, nah, I'd rather just be home with my family. Like, I'm not leaving unless I'm paid a minimum. And when you have that luxury, you really start like knowing your worth, you know? Like, you won't leave the house. You rather stay home, watch TV, and like, whereas when back in the days when we were hungry, it's like, oh, you only got $50? I'll do it for $50. Fuck
you need
it,
me
you
now?
know?
All right, fuck all this. Let me go over there.
Yeah, for fun, I guess $50 and for some fun. Like, but now it's just like it feels good to know that like, okay, we know our worth now. Like, it feels really good, man. Because these past couple projects, like I've been trying to bring people on the team, and it's been a good time. I was gonna ask you, I don't know how your process is when you're finding people for your team. Do you look for specific like characteristics, or how do you go about finding people for your team?
So for me, I normally tend to post it on Instagram. I'll put it out there like on a story to see who's down to come. My main thing that I look for is, so I always have money to pay someone, right? Yeah. But I always like, let's say I need a light person.
Yeah.
I like to put it out there. I'm like, even though I have my team for that, but maybe they could do other things. I'm like, maybe I could bring someone else that knows even maybe more. But every time I do it, I get a lot of people that hit me up, and I look at the work. I'm like, bro, you're not even a gaffer and you want to get paid. Man. So right off the bat, I don't hire them. I don't respond. I mean, I respond like, hey, sorry, it's taken or whatever. But it's just like the lack of common sense. Like for me, like in order to find someone, it's like it's okay to do it for free once or twice. Show me your skill, but don't expect to get paid if you have nothing to show for it. So it takes time. But I've been finding people through Instagram stories. A lot of times I just try to push it out there, or have someone hit me up nonstop, and then eventually I'll see it. I'm like, this he really wants it. He really wants it that bad.
He's hungry.
Yeah.
And a good kind of hungry. Not like, hey, he looks at your plate and he wants it too. Like, we could all eat, you know?
Yeah. Like, and that's pretty cool. Like, but it's very hard to find somebody that's, that can help. Like, I
recently went through that where like I put out like, hey, I need an assistant, and I got a few replies. And the first thing I do, right, because you know nothing about them, you look at their work.
Yeah.
And we're pretty smart about this. We've been there before. We can scout for people with talent, right? And I'll look at someone's work, and they may not have the newest camera, but you'll see their skills, because we have trained eyes. So I'll be like, okay, this guy has potential. And if a person has potential, like, we're going to bring them on the team and we're going to help them grow. because we see the potential. So it's like goes back to what you're saying. If you're applying for a job and you're expecting to get paid and your portfolio sucks straight up, then I don't even know why you're expecting to get paid, bro. Like, come on board, meet me. You're going to meet the people I work with. I'm going to get you places. Like, you're shutting yourself down by expecting to get paid.
Yeah.
And a lot of people forget that, bro, honestly.
That's the main thing. Technically, now to kind of just wrap this up as far as for the creative side, for all creators out there. So is there any advice you want to give to any creators out there to overcome it or what to expect from it? Anything before we finish off this podcast?
Most definitely. My advice to overcome a creative drought at the end of the day, guys, is we're all human. So we're all human. We all have brains. We all work really hard. Take that mental health break. You know, take time for yourself and stop worrying about being great all the time. Also, another advice that I give you guys before we end this podcast is your talent will open doors for you, but it's up to your character to keep those doors open.
Ooh, okay, you're getting real good with this. Mine's is pretty just simple. I kind of stated it, but I mean, mine's would be like, make sure you guys work out or find a hobby outside of the creative world. Don't let the filmmaking take over your life, because eventually it's hard to escape. And make sure you guys have, whether it's playing basketball, maybe going to gym, anything to get away. I get it, it's hard. That's just something that we all, we all struggle and try to get better at. But the main thing is have a team. Try to build where you can't do it. When you don't do it all and you kind of just add different people, it's going to allow you to just really just focus in only on what you love to do. And all the things that you don't like, you give it to them, and then your mind stays fresh because you're not doing what you don't want to do. And you're not you're not trying or looking at an edit for 10 hours, not doing shit to it because you're just not there. You don't want to do it. So for me, it's just, that's like my main advice. Like, if you guys have to just outsource your work, hire, network with a team, try to build with a few creatives out there. So that way you don't do everything and you don't burn yourself out, because that happens to us all. And that's one advice for me. If I could tell myself 7 years ago, like, something, it'll be like, hey, start looking for a team, start building, and just because you're going to need them. Like, it's not do it yourself. You look at every owner in the world, every entrepreneur, bro. Anyone that's a millionaire, bro, they have a team. No, they have a team. I don't know any millionaires, but I do myself. No, they have managers.
You have to have a team, and if not a team, at the very least, a partner.
Yeah,
like and someone you can trust.
Yup.
That's hard, man. Finding people you can trust is so hard. I've had so many people come up to me like, man, I got 10 bands. What can we do with this? I said, bro, like, I can direct you where to take your 10 bands, because I ain't gonna get you much, like, but I'm not doing nothing for no 10 bands, bro. Like, but yeah, man. Thanks for having me here, bro. I really appreciate it. It's a fucking honor, dude. I see everything you've done here, man, and my hat is off to you, man.
I appreciate it, man. Yes, it's been a journey, man. And anyways, hopefully this podcast helped you guys. Again, this is Mario Visions, Rick Productions. If you guys have anything you guys want to, add to it to help other creators as far as a creator drought, maybe something that we didn't talk about that you guys can give other creators, leave it in the comments below. And that's always appreciated. It's all about building a community for all of us to kind of learn from one another. But yeah, it's no friend left behind. Today, hopefully the lighting is a lot better than the previous podcast. Again, we're trying different things out. I just bought a mic to, I think these are kind of better than the other ones. You kind of move with them. I don't know. Just trying different things out right now. But yeah, appreciate you guys for sticking this long. Catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.